On the chilly evening of December 6, 1991, in North Austin, Texas. 4 teenage girls were living the ordinary lives of high school students, full of laughter, friendships, and dreams for the future. 17-year-old Jennifer Harbison and her co-worker, 17-year-old Eliza Thomas, were closing up the "I Can't Believe It's Yogurt" shop on West Anderson Lane near Northcross Mall. It was a typical Friday night shift. Jennifer's 15-year-old sister, Sarah Harbison, had stopped by with her best friend, 13-year-old Amy Ayers. The girls were planning to head home together after the store locked its doors at 11 p.m. Jennifer was a bright, responsible young woman who loved her job at the yogurt shop. She was known for her warm smile and her close bond with her younger sister Sarah, who was outgoing and full of energy. Eliza Thomas was a dedicated student and athlete, passionate about her future. And little Amy Ayers, just 13, was the baby of the group, sweet, animal-loving, and inseparable from Sarah. As the clock ticked toward closing time, the girls went about their routine, wiping down counters, counting the register, turning off lights. A couple who had been customers earlier that night left just before 11, later recalling seeing 2 men lingering at a table, acting strangely, suspiciously quiet. What happened next would shatter the innocence of an entire city. Around 11:45 p.m., an unknown man, or men, either hid inside the store or forced their way in through a jammed rear door. The girls were overpowered. They were bound with their own clothing, underwear used as gags and restraints. At least one was sexually assaulted. Then, in a cold, execution-style horror, each girl was shot in the head with .22 caliber bullets. Some were shot multiple times. To cover the crime, the killer set the shop ablaze, using accelerants to ensure the fire spread quickly. Just after midnight, an Austin patrol officer spotted flames pouring from the building and called it in. Firefighters battled the blaze, but when they finally entered the charred interior, they made a discovery that would haunt them forever. Stacked in the back storage room, their bodies severely burned, were the 4 girls. 3, Jennifer, Sarah, and Eliza, were found together, bound and charred beyond recognition in places. Amy's body was discovered separately, as if she'd tried to escape or been moved. The scene was devastating. The fire and water from sprinklers and hoses had destroyed much potential evidence, but investigators pieced together the brutality. 2 different .22 caliber weapons had been used. 1 bullet casing was later found in a drain. Signs of sexual assault on at least 1 victim. No money taken from the register. This wasn't a simple robbery. News spread like wildfire through Austin. Parents waited anxiously for their children to come home. Barbara and Bob Ayers Wilson, parents of Jennifer and Sarah, grew worried when the girls didn't return. Pam and Robert Ayers waited for Amy. James Thomas held out hope for Eliza. By morning, the unthinkable was confirmed. Austin, a growing, vibrant city known for its music and laid-back vibe, had lost its innocence overnight. This doesn't happen here, people said. But it had. The Austin Police Department launched one of the largest investigations in its history. A dedicated task force was formed. The FBI joined. Thousands of tips flooded in. Over the years, more than 50 people would falsely confess, including death row inmate Kenneth McDuff on the day of his execution. Early leads pointed to local teens. Just days after the murders, 16-year-old Maurice Pierce was arrested at nearby Northcross Mall with a loaded .22 caliber revolver. Ballistics were inconclusive, but Pierce became a person of interest. He implicated friends, Robert Springsteen, Michael Scott, and Forrest Wellborn, all teenagers at the time. The 4 were questioned repeatedly in the weeks after the crime but released for lack of evidence. The case went cold. For 8 long years, families grieved without answers. Memorials were held. Billboards with the girls' photos pleaded for information. The community lived in fear. Parents drove their kids everywhere, no more walking home at night. Then, in 1999, a new task force revisited the files. Detectives re-interviewed the original four, now in their 20s. Under intense, marathon interrogations, some lasting days, Robert Springsteen and Michael Scott confessed. They implicated each other and the others, describing graphic details of rape, murder, and arson. Springsteen said he shot Amy. Scott admitted to assaulting one of the girls. They claimed it was a robbery gone wrong, a thrill kill. Based almost entirely on these confessions, no physical evidence linked them. All four were charged with capital murder. Charges against Pierce and Wellborn were later dropped. But Springsteen and Scott went to trial. In 2001, Robert Springsteen was convicted and sentenced to death. In 2002, Michael Scott was sentenced to life. The victims' families finally felt justice was served. Barbara Ayers Wilson spoke publicly. These young men were there. They did it. But cracks appeared. Both men recanted, claiming coerced false confessions after hours of aggressive questioning. Details in their statements didn't match the evidence, like the number of guns or exact sequence. Appeals began. In 2006 and 2007, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals overturned both convictions, citing violations of the right to confront accusers. The confessions were used against each other without cross-examination. Prosecutors planned retrials. But then, advanced DNA testing changed everything. In 2008, WSTR testing on vaginal swabs revealed male DNA from an unknown suspect, not matching Springsteen, Scott, Pierce, Wellborn, or any known person. In 2009, all charges were dropped. The men walked free, but not exonerated. Their lives ruined, years in prison, labeled killers. The case went cold again. Families were heartbroken anew. Wrongful accusations had derailed justice. Detectives never stopped. Evidence was retested as technology improved. In 2022, cold case detective Dan Jackson took over. He resubmitted a .380 cartridge casing found in a drain, overlooked for decades, into the National Ballistics Database, NBIN. A hit, matched to an unsolved 1998 murder in Kentucky. Meanwhile, WSTR profiles from the sexual assault linked to other crimes, a 1990 rape murder in South Carolina, more across the Midwest. The profile belonged to Robert Eugene Brashers, a nomadic serial killer and rapist born in 1958. Brashers had a pattern: home invasions, binding victims with their own clothing, sexual assaults, executions with small-caliber guns, often .22 or .380. He traveled constantly, stealing cars, evading capture. Just 2 days after the yogurt shop murders, Brashers was stopped at a border checkpoint near El Paso, driving a stolen car, possessing a .380 pistol. He committed more crimes through the 1990s, murders in Missouri, Arkansas, rapes elsewhere. In January 1999, cornered by police in Missouri, Brashers killed himself with a gunshot, using the same make of weapon linked to the yogurt shop. In September 2025, nearly 34 years after the murders, Austin police announced the breakthrough: DNA and ballistics definitively linked Brashers to the crime scene. Chief Lisa Davis called it one of the most devastating and haunting cases in the city's history. Families gathered for the news. Tears of relief mixed with decades of pain. Sean Ayers, Amy's brother, embraced his wife. Finally, many whispered. Brashers acted alone, police believe, no accomplice, consistent with his known crimes. In December 2025, just days ago, Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza filed paperwork to formally exonerate Michael Scott, Robert Springsteen, Maurice Pierce, and Forrest Wellborn. The 4 men wrongly accused, 2 wrongly convicted, will finally have their names cleared. The yogurt shop murders, a case of unimaginable brutality, botched investigations, false confessions, and ultimate redemption through science, is solved. But for the families of Jennifer Harbison, Sarah Harbison, Eliza Thomas, and Amy Ayers, the pain never ends. For bright lives stolen on a winter night in 1991. They are remembered not as victims, but as daughters, sisters, friends, forever young, forever loved. This is their story. May they rest in peace.